Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be giving you my Gemini July 2020 horoscope forecast, part 1 of 2. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Anyway, people, first thing up is as far as July goes, the Sun will be in Cancer from the 1st until the 22nd. So the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, there could be a strong concentration of energy, focus, and attention on one's finances, monetary matters, possessions, resources, self-worth, self-esteem, buying and selling. And when we and really this is a time where, I mean, given that this is you're talking about Cancer energy, this may be done with a lot of nurturing energy, a lot of dedication, devotion, and tenacity. In some cases, it might shine the light on a Cancerian type possession. It could be like something with culinary or a cooking item or some home related. It might be something that might be somehow tied in with your home in some way, shape, or form. This could be something too where when you look at a transit like this, you have to it's also about, when you're talking about the Sun in astrology, and you're talking about, I mean, the Sun could be, I mean, Sun rules Leo, so it could be very dominant energy. Second house is possession, so it's important to really make sure that you're not becoming overly the focus is not being too possessive of others at this point in time. And the thing about it is, this could be a period too for you where you're really or again, your strong focus, your attention is really on doing things in terms that are associated with your values and things of a monetary matter. It could be a very strong focus on nurturing your values at this point in time, and it might even be a focus on some introverted way, so to speak, of making money. We're talking about the zodiac sign Cancer, second house money. It might be doing something through the home at this time. Now, anyway, next thing up. Well, as far as July goes, the Sun will be in Leo from the 22nd until the 31st. So the third house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, at this time, there could be a strong attention, focus, and concentration of energy on communication, siblings, cousins, neighbors, assimilating information, one's early education. It could be people that were prominent in your early education, short journeys, local transportation. And given that we're talking about Leo energy, a lot of this may be done with a lot of that Leo ferocity, even tenacity to some degree. This could be done really with a lot of confidence and self-assurance as well, and pride and dignity. This could be a time where you really focus strongly on taking a lot of pride in terms of your communications and how you speak. Gemini is generally very articulate and eloquent anyway, but this is a time where you really, it might be a focus on dominating conversations in some cases. So just be careful that is not what is transpiring, and you're allowing the other person to get a word in edgewise at this point in time. Gemini. So anyway. Well, the next thing up, there's going to be a lunar eclipse in Capricorn on July 5th. So the 8th house is what is going to be emphasized and highlighted. Well, at this time, I mean, this can manifest in a multitude of ways. And you're talking about lunar eclipses in astrology. They're basically like amplified, intensified full moons. It could be about very life-altering endings, and its impact can be much more sustained in contrast to a regular full moon. This could be the time where you might end some kind of, I mean, Capricorn energy could be connected with business, one's career. It could be the ending or culmination or completion of some business or career that is 8th house related. It could be something like with insurance or astrology or taxes, or even a career, maybe you were surgery, anything that could be 8th house related, supernatural, the occult, recycling, even something with transformation. And if the difference is between something like this and a regular full moon, it could be something that you may have been doing for a very protracted period and something you might have been contemplating and cogitating for some time regarding a completion or ending. It might be the time where you just finally had enough, and it might lead to actually doing something different in your life. It could be a life-altering situation. It could also, another way this could manifest and pan out, it could be the end of maybe where you're just tired, very tired, exasperated, or full, and maybe this results in the ending of a very restricted, perhaps situation, either a shared resources scenario or maybe restricted emotional, moral, or monetary support. It could be where you were maybe dealing with something where with a very cold or callous sexual partner, someone you were in an intimate relationship with, and you felt like you weren't getting the help, whether it was monetarily and or emotionally, moral support that you really wanted. Another way this could end, this could pan out if somebody had a government loan that they were paying off. This could be completed at this time, and you're probably thinking, well, what's so significant about that, being that it's a lunar eclipse? Well, what it could be, for example, I mean, the thing that ends in some cases, I believe, with lunar eclipses may not seem that significant all the time, but it could lead to something significant. Somebody that completes, I mean, a government loan. Remember that government can be associated with Capricorn. The 8th house can be associated with loans. And what it could do, as an example, it could free you up to be able to start spending, have money on other things that are significant in your life. And if you were going to start some business or something, that would be something where an ending could actually signify a very important or significant beginning for you. So anyway. Well, also, there's going to be a next thing up. There's going to be a new moon in Cancer on July 20th. So the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, this could manifest in manifold ways. This could be, in some cases, just simply the start of a Cancerian money-making endeavor. It could be a way where maybe you're generating money in an introverted way out of the home. It could be a family business that maybe gets started. It could be doing something just Cancerian related, such as something with cooking or culinary work, working in a restaurant, doing some home improvement, renovation, roofing, siding, working in real estate, something that involves rescuing, like working as a lifeguard. It could also be a time where you might simply begin to nurture your finances and possessions, and also about the beginning, perhaps, of valuing these things as well. Really about nurturing your values, I should say, but also about perhaps the dedication and devotion to your values and into matters with self-esteem and self-worth. If you've been feeling a little bit down about yourself, Gemini, you've been feeling despondent, looking at a lot of negative aspects of yourself, this could be the opportune time to do something where you're actually doing something to really to show a lot of tenacity toward working on matters with self-esteem and self-worth, and whether it could be making more money or what have you, this could be that opportune time to begin doing that. It could be the start of a buying and selling venture, which could involve maybe some home-related items, Cancerian-type items, like such as things with food or culinary or cooking type materials. So anyway. Well, next thing up, well, Mercury will be in Cancer, so the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, at this time for you, Gemini, well, your mind might be dominated by monetary matters. It could be about a time where you might simply be communicating more about home and family values at this time. It could be about home-related possessions. Maybe it might be about buying certain items, maybe selling some home-related items at this point in time, or family-related matters. It could also be about nurturing, really talking about nurturing your possessions at this time, and it could be things that are very nostalgic, very Cancerian-related. Could be matters with family history, your family albums. It could also be a time too where you might find yourself, remember that Mercury can also be about siblings. This could be about Cancerian, or actually Cancerian siblings, cousins, or neighbors, or ones that simply embody Cancerian characteristics that might figure more prominently in your values, in your self-worth, your self-esteem. It could be monetary matters, generating income, your resources at this time. So anyway, hold on a moment, people. Last but not least, the Venus will be in Gemini, so the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, at this time, this is about being more enamored with yourself, about a lot of self-love, Gemini, about admiring your own Gemini characteristics, being quick-witted, perhaps, having a quick mentality, being shrewd, cunning, versatile, multifaceted. It's a time that you're loquacious, being able to talk about virtually any subject. And in some cases, too, though, this could also manifest about spending money on Gemini physical related issues, such as something with the arms, the hands, the shoulders, something with the lungs. And a lot of this, too, can be predicated and dependent on other aspects to points in the chart. If this is making a lot of adverse aspects, this could really reaffirm some issues you might be dealing with physically. I mean, say if this is making an adverse aspect to, say, Mars or the Sun at this time, or it's something that there might be more greater propensity for something of a physical nature that may be taking place where you're spending this money on. In terms of Gemini related issues, it could also be at a time too where you look at the Venus as well as connected with the throat and the neck. So being you're talking about the first house, it could be some I called being in Gemini mercurial throat or neck related issues in some isolated cases. But also to remember, Venus is about cooperation. So this could be about dealing with more where you're really being more cooperative, generally speaking. But given it's the first house, perhaps with a grandmother, and even with people that might have been prominent in your early childhood. And remember, the Gemini energy is very eloquent. It could be cooperation with a very eloquent grandmother, or even a Gemini grandmother. It could be a Gemini sun, moon, or ascendant person, or simply one that embodies Gemini traits. It could also be about being enamored with Gemini, new beginnings, and really doing things, perhaps something with communication, like data or satellite communication, reporting, journalism, something that requires dexterity or the use of the hands. I mean, something like auto refrigeration mechanics. And also, at this time, you might be spending more money on yourself at this time, Gemini, given that you're talking about Venus and the first house, and a lot of it could be on communication and writing materials, and even clothes. So, and being Gemini, it could be a variety of clothes. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.